Do you think there is any value or the value of a good sci-fi movie lies in how right they got it about certain developments, how prescient they were about future developments? Does that matter at all
Mhm.
to you?
I mean, it's interesting sometimes, right? And that forecasting power, I think comedy has it actually more than sci-fi most often.
Well,
Uh, because sci-fi likes to go into that melodramatic mode of taking human desire seriously on a grand scale, whereas comedy knows we're pretty much made of dirt and, will mess up a lot of the things that we touch. Uh, I'm thinking, right, like Idiocracy, when it came out to me, it felt like way too broad of a comedy to be diagnostically useful. And now it feels like it was probably most on the mark of, things from
mhm.
25 years ago in terms of figuring out what this future was going to look like. Now, you know, I also think that to a great extent, what you see in sci-fi is very much about the society that made that sci-fi more than it is about what a real future is going to look like. So just as an example, I just watched this Korean drama with my wife. It's on Netflix. The English version is called something like When the Stars Gossip. The Korean title is 별들에게 물어봐, which means Ask the Stars. And it's
Your Korean lessons
set
paid
about
off.
25 years in the future. Um, and it's about this guy who goes to the Korean-owned space station in 2050 as a space tourist. He is a fertility doctor, a gynecologist, and he is smuggling onto the space station uh, these unfertilized human eggs of the daughter-in-law of the owner of this huge conglomerate in Korea who has paid for him to go up there, whose son has died. They have his sperm frozen, but it's too twisted to work on Earth. And there have been orbital sort of experiments done by a different scientist that showed it, like sperm that doesn't work on Earth working in space. So he smuggles this stuff onto the space station in order to perform an artificial
An IVF.
insemination
Yeah.
in an IVF in space. Sorry, yeah, just the IVF in space, and then bring back the morula and implant it on Earth into this woman in order to get
Oh.
an heir for this corporate conglomerate. And if that's not about the contemporary fertility crisis in Korea, I don't know what it's about. Right? Like
Mhm.
it feels like it's so directly, so absurdly about contemporary concerns. And it's not that they're not concerns that deal with the future. Of course they are. Children of Men is about the same thing, right? Like 25 years ago.
Mhm.
There are a bunch of movies that are dealing with the fact that in the developed world, we have overall dropping fertility rates, partially also because of people's active decisions, seeing the world and worrying about the world, right? It's our imagination of the future that's leading people to make decisions that are quite different in terms of reproduction from generations before us. And I don't know how time bounded this is, right? Like, is this something that will feel relevant in 2050? Is it something that's gonna feel like it's exactly just about this 10-year period in Korean history, and then something will change and we'll find ourselves in a completely different paradigm? And I think that the fact that we don't know right now is what makes it interesting. I think that thinking of speculative fiction as a way to model futures is a great idea, but it's also always really, really great to just turn around for a second and say, hey, why is this successful right now? Why is this the kind of story that we want to tell in this moment? And very, very often it's going to be about contemporary dynamics.
I like that. As in, and then I feel that the kind of work or the kind of conversations we have in foresight and in future studies point to towards the same direction. Entertaining and exploring futures is only a permission slip to look at the present.
Mhm.
It's a, you know, it's a trick that we do to our own
Right.
mind, um,
Right.
to look closely to whatever rituals, practices, institutions we have nowadays.